How's it going? This is Fox back again for sound design tutorials. Another request today. This one is from Chad B. Smith. I did one for him a little while ago, the Leica Morgan Me and My Toothbrush New Disco Bass. He's asked me to make this patch. It's Constantinne Felten, Never Really Comes for Free original mix, and it's the bass. There'll be a link in the description to this so you can compare them yourself. And this is what I managed to do. And this is it with a little beat. There you go. Pretty good likeness, I thought. I managed to get the roundedness to make it sound like the other one with a square wave in there. Bit of modulation with a 4-amp filter, 4-amp warp mode, but we'll go through that in a bit. Pretty good, not perfect, but yeah, see what you think. Anyway, we're going to show you how I made this. So I'm going to go ahead and initialize this. We're going to start off with a saw wave on oscillator 1. I'm going to pitch it down 2 octaves. If you hold Alt, drag it down in the first box, it does it in full octaves. Solo the massive track. And I'll just talk about what we've got on the lane quick. We've got a bit of saturation and compression. I'll talk through that at the end. I'll turn it off for now so we're hearing just massive. Just about real low saw wave. We're going to route this only to filter 1. Put it in serial mode. It doesn't matter because we're only using one filter. And the bend mode I chose for this was band negative. We'll pull it pretty much all the way to the left, just push it back a little bit. Makes it a bit thinner and a bit more raspy. Okay, oscillator 2 is a square wave, so pull it all the way to the left. Push it back ever so slightly, so we're just starting to bring in a bit of the saw wave as well. Pitch this one down 1 octave, -12. It's totally squashing the sound at the minute. It's just dulling the saw wave out altogether, but we're going to control it with an envelope later on. As with every deep house bass, they are pretty much just a pluck. Oscillator 3, we're going to pitch this one down 2 octaves also. This one is a sine wave, a pure sine wave. This is taking care of just the pure sub part of the sound. So pull it all the way to the left so it's a sine wave. The intensity to this one was spectrum. The starting position for that I had around 9 o'clock. I'm going to change the warp mode on oscillator 2 later on with a 4-amp warp mode, but we'll go through that later on. I'll set the sound at first and I'll show you what a difference it makes. That's just reinforcing the lows now. Yeah, what else did I do? Not much really. It's all about the pluck of the envelope. I added a bit of insert 1. I used a sine shaper. Turn it on. Sine shaper is a form of distortion, light distortion. I pulled it down to about 8 o'clock on a clock dial and the drive about 10 o'clock. Turn it on and off. You're not going to hear a drastic difference. It does add a little something. In the routing section, insert 1 wants to come after filter 1. Should be there as standard. Yep. So you don't need to do nothing with that. So yeah, it's all about the filter on these deep house basses. We're on a low pass 2 filter. You don't want it too steep. It can cut the highs out too quickly. The starting point for this filter we're going to put all the way down to about 7, 8 o'clock. It just sounds like a pure sub at the minute until we're going to use an envelope to open this filter up and then close it back really quickly. You can use any envelope you want for this. Me being me, I always use envelope 2. Yeah, envelope 2. So you want no attack or the fastest attack possible, so pull it all the way down to the left so it's going to open round very quickly. We're going to dial the amount in. We want it to open pretty much to about 3 o'clock on a clock dial. why we're getting that squelchy sound is because the decay is too long. Also, you want no sustain level, so the decay controlling exactly the time. I'm going to set this one to linear for this one. It's just a more definite curve coming down, and we're going to pull the decay back to about, well, we'll play it. We'll play it and we'll keep pulling it back until it sounds how we want it. That resonance as well was giving us a squelch. I've just pulled that all the way down. Make sure the volume for filter 1's on full and the mix is all the way up, so everything's going into filter 1. All 3 oscillators are out to filter 1, which is this. The volume for filter 1 is on full, and then the mix is coming out of filter 1. You can hear the difference between linear and non-linear. I might keep it non-linear actually, it gives it a little bit of a better feel. Again, play with this to taste, set it up however you want. As long as you've got a nice short decay controlling how fast it opens the filter and then closes it. Sounds good to me. We're getting a little pluck at the start, a little sort of raspy bite from the saw wave, and then it's filtering it down to the deeper part of the sound, which is the square wave and the sine wave. Pretty much the patch done now really. I added one effect, I did a bit of modulation on the resonance and a couple of other things. So yeah, I'm going to bring this format band mode, warp mode, whatever you want to call it, in. I'll show you what this does. You can really hear the effect this has, and we're going to modulate this with an envelope as well. It's exactly the same envelope that we set up for the filter, so drag it, drop it on the intensity box, and we're going to modulate this to do the same thing that we're doing with the filter, where we're opening the filter cut off up and then closing it quickly. We're going to bring in some formant, some of these formant knobs. It's almost like, it's hard for me to explain, but anyway, the closer, further to the left you are, the deeper the formant, further right, the higher pitched. So yeah, we're going to use an envelope to flick that round. Nice little trick, just adding a little bit of that formanty sort of feel to the mids. We don't want to go too far around, otherwise it starts squelching and getting a bit resonant. Just there is fine, the starting point just below 9 o'clock, and then push it round to about 10 o'clock. I'm also going to use this same envelope too again to modulate the intensity of the spectrum on oscillator 3. This is the subwave, sine wave. Okay, what else did we do? Oh, dimension expander, that's the only effect I used. Just to make it a bit wider at the start of the notes, like to increase the width of the plucky part of the sound. Click it, turn it on, obviously, this blue button. Size, I had just past 12 o'clock. Same envelope again, envelope 2. Just to push the dry wet around. Again, subtle change, but it did help add something to the sound. Envelope 4, which is the main amp envelope. I probably should have set this up earlier. We need to create a pluck with this as well. Not so severe as the one we've used on the filter, but same for the same reason. We don't want, if there is longer notes, or if you're playing longer notes, the sub's going to carry on after the filter's closed, so you want to stop that from happening by creating a bit of a pluck. So not so severe as the last one, but yeah, real basic stuff. Everything's controlled by one envelope pretty much. What else did I do? I had some modulation on the resonance, but I weren't too sure whether this added much. I think I used a different envelope actually. Yeah, I did. I used a much more plucky envelope. We use envelope 3 for this. I was toying whether to use this or not, but we'll set it up and we'll see what you think. This was an even snappier envelope than the last one that we had. So 0 attack, or the fastest attack possible. No sustain level. And the decay, we want to pull it all the way around to about 10 o'clock. So it's just a real quick flick on and off. Just helps add a little click at the start of the sound. It's up to you whether you want to use that or not. I think it does add a little something. That's it. That's the sound done. Nice and simple. I'll talk about what we've got on here. I've got a little bit of a compression, just bringing it all together. I didn't do anything with a ratio, attack or release. Just pull it down till it bit a little bit. Alright, it's all on. I haven't even turned it off. So that's what it sounds like without the saturation. So yeah, this saturation, really key to making this sound. Actually, I'll do this a lot on these sort of deep house basses. I've aimed it around 825 Hz. If we bring up an EQ8 quickly, that's around about here. It's where the rasp is, or the bite, I'll call it, on these deep house basses. It's the saw wave creating them harmonics in the mid part that gives it that sort of gritty feel before it's filtered down. So the saturation helps enhance that. Let's say we don't want to cancel that, no. Helps give it a bit of a warmth, bit of a more analogy feel. I've got 2.29 decibels of drive. I've changed it from an analog clip to a soft sine, so it's a bit more of a harsher distortion. As I say, aim this frequency where you want it. We want it picking out that raspy bite of the saw wave. Just pulled the drive back down a little bit to 77%. That's it. That's the patch done. So yeah, I created just a drum and a clap to go with it. Clipping. There you go, real straightforward. Deep house bass again with massive. I wanted to use massive last time. The request I did for the chat last time, I was originally going to use massive, but Serum did it better. This time, this one did it pretty good. Yeah, let me know what you think. It's pretty close. This patch is free to download in the description if you want to keep this for yourself. As always, make sure you subscribe. Plenty more tutorials and videos to come from me. As always, thanks for watching. Cheers.